Over the last 13 years, I've lost 60 pounds and kept it off. Today's video, I'm going to expose the 10 biggest fat loss lies that's been keeping ambitious professional men just like you at your heaviest weight, lying awake 2 a.m, promising yourself that you're going to fix this tomorrow. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to break the cycle, lose fat and keep it off for good. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button because I'm making a new video about weight loss advice for men every single week. I use these strategies to help dozens of men just like you lose up to 60 pounds and finally skip the yo-yo dieting cycle. If you're tired of constantly losing and gaining the same weight, I want to help you get to your healthy self without giving up the foods that you love. The first lie you've been told is that you need to eat less to lose fat, and you are just keep cutting your calories, and it makes you feel like you have been eating less for years and you're not seeing any results despite being at your heaviest weight and nothing is working for you anymore. So I always recommend that you're starting out with a small to moderate calorie deficit of 300 or 500 calorie deficit, because that is enough for not to be too hungry. You are able to stay in this without impacting your workouts, your work, and also after 12 weeks you are incorporating something that's called diet breaks, where you are not feeling fatigue. Let's imagine that you lost all the weight that you want and your metabolism at its lowest. So how you are going to increase your metabolism again is that you're taking a diet break. You are putting in your current weight that you have after you've been losing weight and your activity levels, and then you get your new maintenance calories that you are sticking to for 2 weeks. You're not doing any more cardio, maybe some light walks, 6,000 steps a day. You don't do any workout because it's very strenuous for your mental system, like your nervous system, because you've been busting your ass off for 12 weeks. So by doing that, you are going to feel more replenished, you're feeling more refreshed, and you are just way to go, and your metabolism is fully peaking and you are way able to lose weight even faster. And then you are also just, for example, using progressive overload, where you're constantly increasing the weight when you're working out with 2.5 kilos and doing 1 to 2 reps before failure, because that's enough for you to build more muscle and lose weight even faster. And having a high protein diet of 45% of the daily calories come from protein, and by doing that you're going to lose fat even faster, not feeling hungry all the time or constantly restarting your diet. And if you want to lose the weight for good and become the most healthiest version of yourself, just like you saw with me, my client transformation in the beginning of the video, there's a link in the description and also in the comment section where you can apply for coaching with me, and we'll see if you and I are fit to work together, and I'll help build a game plan to help you lose the weight for good. The next lie you've been told is that cardio is the best way to burn fat, and you are also thinking that the more cardio you're doing, the more you are losing weight. And the biggest problem is that you are doing endless amount of cardio, like 1 to 2 hours before you start your workout. And the problem is that you are still just looking yourself in the mirror and thinking, I am really disgusted and embarrassed how I look. And what I should recommend for you is that you are prioritizing strength training, where you are training 4 or 5 times a week, and you are always starting out with 2 compound movements, which basically means that you are using several muscle groups at the same time. For example, if you're targeting your shoulder, like the front part of the shoulder, you are using military press, and then you also target the front part and also the biceps. And by doing that for 2 compound movements, you are going to have a lot of energy to push the weights, and you are using progressive overload with 2.5 kilo, increasing that every single set. You are having 4 sets. The first set is warm-up set, where you just get some blood flow out to the muscle group. That helps you get a better mind-muscle connection, where you, by studying the video, you are going to know that this is the specific muscle that you want to break down the muscle tissues. And then you have 60 seconds of rest, because the more intensity your workout is, the higher chance it is to break down the muscle tissues and rebuilding it through your diet with what I've just mentioned before. And you're also prioritizing 6,000 steps every single day. You're using something that's called a step app, and if you're hitting weight loss plateaus of not losing 1 to 2 pounds every single week, you are going to increase the amount of efforts. In order to lose weight, you need to be in a calorie deficit and sustain that for until you are losing 1 to 2 pounds, and you're doing that with the diet and also with the walks of 6,000 steps, and then you're increasing to 2,000 steps if you are not losing 1 to 2 pounds a week. And cardio should not be something that you're prioritizing in the first 1 to 2 weeks. I always want you to have your diet work for itself, and you are sticking to the calorie deficit, and then you're going to lose weight through the diet and also with the amount of steps that you've been putting in, because the more steps you're putting in, the more you are expending even more calories. And cardio is something that is helping you accelerate your fat loss if you're not losing 2 pounds a week. So it's also about being mindful where you are putting your energy levels, because you're going to end up with feeling very fatigued the longer you've been into your weight loss journey. And by applying this, you are not only going to look more confident, you're also getting a leaner, more athletic, for example, physique. And the third lie you've been told is that carb is making you fat, and you are someone thinking that you're just cutting out all your carbs when you're starting out your weight loss journey. And the problem is that if you are avoiding potatoes, rice, bread, pasta for years, and yet every single weekend you are just turning it into a binge because you've been craving this shit, and it feels like it's impossible to maintain that. So I recommend that you are having 40% of daily calorie coming from simple carbs and complex carbs. Simple carbs is basically just carbs that is digesting very fast. For example, it could be cereal, muesli, white bread, white pasta. And the reason why it's important to have some fast digestible carbs is that you need the surge of energy if you are going to work out in the gym. If you are performing at work, doing presentations, you need to be very sharp. And also you also want to have complex carbs, which is a mix of having more fibers into the carbs. So it could be whole food. For example, you're having more veggies that's high in fiber, oatmeal. It could be whole food pasta, bread, quinoa, sweet potato. That can help you feeling more full throughout the day, because if you're in a calorie deficit and you're trying to sustain that, it's important for you to not feel hungry all the time. So incorporating that is going to help you maintain a stable energy levels throughout the day, so you're able to perform at work and also in the gym and still have energy after work, to not feeling that you are struggling. And also you are going to enjoy foods that you really love while still able to lose the fat. The fourth problem is that you think that one cheat meal is ruining everything for you. You most likely been having one cheat meal and you're just blowing out a whole week, and that is also making you want to restart your diet on Monday, and that is not going to help you, because if you are Friday night thinking, oh, I'm so exhausted, I'm just tired, and this Friday evening is just going to become like a nightmare, and it makes you feeling guilty and you want to start up again like Monday morning, I recommend that you are having a more subtle and moderate balanced approach, where you are eating 80% of the calories coming from whole foods that you really enjoy. You have 2 meal plans you use in MyFitnessPal, and you create 2 meal plans where you are switching the amount of, for example, meals that you really enjoy. Because if you want to lose weight and eat foods that you enjoy, your preferences are just way different compared to mine. But the most important thing is that you are hitting your macros throughout the day, 45% coming from protein, 40% coming from carbs. And then it's just a matter of how many meals you want to eat throughout the day. I'm eating like 3 meals or 4 meals a day. And my biggest meal is after I've been working out, because I've been busting my ass off, bringing down all the muscle tissues, depleting my glycogen stores. So I need at least 30 grams in every single of the meals and 40 grams of carbs. And by doing that, I'm going to feel more energized, recovered. And it's also about having some of the small treats throughout the day that makes you feel that you are satisfied in your cravings. So if you are able to use flexible dieting, and sometimes if you don't want to eat the last meal that consists of like 500 calories, you're just maybe eating a protein bar, but you still need to hit your daily calories to be in a calorie deficit and your protein intake. So by applying that every single day, and if you are minimizing the amount of motivation that you have, you're just switching out to a new meal plan. And by doing that, you're going to be more consistent, not feeling guilty. And it's not about being perfect, it's just doing your best that you can every single day. The fifth lie you've been told is that you need more motivation, and that is not right, because if you want to succeed, you think that you need more motivation to keep you going. But losing weight takes, depending on how many months that you want to lose weight and how much kilo you need to lose, is about, if you are someone at your heaviest weight and thinking like 2 p.m. that you promised yourself that you want to be different tomorrow, but you've been having a stressful day and you work and you are just thinking that you need to take over again, and it's a big problem because you've been doing that for 20 years, for example. So I think that you should try something that's called meal prepping. I'm using meal prepping like Sunday, and I'm buying all the protein sources like lean chicken breast, like 2 kilos, that is going to span out for the whole week, hitting my macros, and also lean ground beef, tuna, 30 eggs, protein powder I have in my closet, and that is also having whole wheat pasta and some potatoes, whatever you can think of that you really want, and you just prep that beforehand, because the easiest way to meal prep is just boiling all the foods beforehand. And something, if you want to have the satisfying and also food having a lot more flavor, you don't necessarily need to prepare all the foods, but maybe the things that is more difficult for your brain, like lean chicken breast, I'm put that into the oven, then bam, I'm finished. And also pasta, take 5 minutes to boil some pasta and just putting in some ketchup or whatever you want, maybe pasta bolognese. And it's about preparing all these meals throughout the day, so the next day that you're waking up, you're just taking the meals from the fridge, and you're just having an environment where you're also having your workout bag being prepared, so it's right at the door, so you are not able to think that you want to skip the gym because the bag is just right at the door before you're going out. And sometimes if you are just doing these things, it's like stacking the habits of how to push yourself without thinking further that you need to come up with excuses, and you're not losing any motivation. It's about getting yourself disciplined throughout the day to lose the weight. The sixth lie you've been told is that you're thinking that you can reduce your belly fat by spot reducing it, and there's no such thing that's called specific exercise to burn your fat. That's a bunch of bullshit, because if you've been doing 1,000 crunches in your life but you still have a big fat belly, that's not going to change. So this is about being in a calorie deficit and sustaining that through all the tips that I've been sharing with you, and eventually you're going to lose weight all around your body. Sometimes it's just taking a while. For example, I am someone who's losing fat like first of my thighs, my arms, and then my abs, and then my face. So depending on who you are, it's just different. And then having a solid workout plan with working out your whole body 4-5 times a week. I'm always having 4 times where I'm going through the whole body, like Monday chest, triceps, next day back, third day shoulders, biceps, fourth day legs and abs, and the last day is just working out my weak points. That could be shoulder and chest. And you're also being very patient, because if you are trying to rush to lose weight, you are burning yourself out and using all the quick fixes. When you are trying to lose, let's say 60 pounds, I used 8 months to do that. It was a cycle of working out and being in calorie deficit for 6 months. And after 6 months, I lost a bunch of weight. I saw that I was not like big and toned as I really want, because I was not having a lot of muscle mass. In order to look big, full and toned, you need to have a solid amount of muscle mass, and you're doing that by taking a diet break, calculating your new maintenance calories, and then you being in a calorie surplus for, let's say, 2 months, enough to remove all the diet fatigue and building a lot more muscle. You lose, and then you are in a better place when you've been building that muscle through for example, the mini bulk, and then you're going to transition into a smaller calorie deficit of 300 calorie deficit, and that is going to help you lose weight even faster because you have more muscle mass. More muscle mass just helps you as a catalyst to lose weight even faster. And you're also prioritizing your sleep with 8-9 hours a day. And it's about being patient, which basically comes down to tracking your whole process with waking up. Like Monday morning, you are weighing yourself naked and you don't have any food, or you're doing a dump or whatever you need, and then you also have a measuring tape around your body, and you take that every 4th week, before and after pictures, like you have a friend helping you with that front, back and side. And by doing that, you're going to lose belly fat eventually, and it's just what is going to help you work. The 7th lie you've been told is that more protein is just more enough, and protein alone will not fix your fat loss. I've been seeing a lot of men who've been drinking protein powder shakes every day, but your body just haven't changed because you're just thinking that is the way to go. But it's a combination of calorie control and protein diet. So if you are in a calorie deficit and having 45 of your daily calories coming from protein, and also combining with 6,000 steps every single day and the strength training of 4 or 5 times a week, that in itself will help you lose weight and build more muscle. And also focusing on whole foods, because whole food is just easier for you to enjoy what you're eating. Let's imagine that you're eating low calorie foods but high in volume. For example, you are eating lean chicken breast that's low in calories, high in volume. It makes you feel fuller for longer, and you don't need to think so much about food. And also progressive overload, and also the daily activities of completing the 6,000 or 8,000 steps every single day, because it's just about hitting all these small tasks, and then eventually you're going to burn fat every single day. You're not losing weight like through one day. It's a consistent effort every single day. You put it into the calendar, and then what you're going to achieve is building a lot of muscle while losing fat, even when you're not doing so much when you are lying awake at home. The 8 lies you've been told is that your metabolism is broken, and you just keep thinking that your metabolism is just slow even after being 30 years old, and you're convincing yourself that your body is just a problem, and you just stop believing that you're able to change no matter what. But it's about being very honest about all the tracking of the foods and also the liquid. I'm seeing too many busy professional men at your heavy weight just drinking a lot of cola and not being aware that there's a lot of sugar and calories in that, and you're not feeling full by drinking. And also, if you're drinking a lot of beer without tracking the amount of calories that in, you're just getting this big belly, because it's just all the fat is just accumulating on your belly, and it's going to be very difficult for you to get the motivation if you're not being honest with yourself of what you're doing. If you're snacking too much throughout the day, despite having a diet plan that puts you in a calorie deficit, but if you're fucking that over with eating way too many calories above your, for example, your diet plan, you are going to eat up too much, and that is going to fuck up your weight loss journey. For example, you're eating a lot of nuts, that's not going to make you feel full. It's just fast eating, and that makes you destroy your calorie deficit. And also increasing the amount of need that you have. That is basically just small movements throughout the day. That could be the walking like 6,000 or 8,000 steps. You want to break through these weight loss plateau by having all these things that I've been helping you with in this video. And then eventually, if you're not losing 1 to 2 pounds, you're just increasing the amount of steps, 2,000 steps. You are going to decreasing the calories that you've been having with 200 calories more, and by doing that, you're going to just feeling more in control of your results. The 9th weight loss mistake that you've been told is that you need everything to be perfect with your diet, and you've just been trying keto diet, fasting, carnivore, detox, soup diet, and you've been jumping from one diet to another for 15 years and just restarting every single Monday, and you still have this diet mentality. And the problem is that every single of these diet is just following some sort of removing certain food groups, and that is not a balanced way to lose weight and have it sustainable. Because if you are going out with your family and you keep saying that you're not eating any carbs, it's not going to be very sustainable for you, because carbs is just essential for you if you've been working out in the gym and you're just replenishing yourself with more carbs to get more energy and recover faster. If you're not eating any carbs, you're just feeling like very sluggish, have no energy, feeling very moody. So it's about choosing a diet that works for you. I've been seeing that having like 45% coming from protein of your daily calories and 40% coming from carbs, that is like a balanced way to being able to be social, and also using flexible dieting where you are sometimes, if you don't want to eat the meal plans, you're just trying to be in a calorie deficit and switching out the meals with foods that you've been not being able to eat. Maybe you want to eat more pancakes, like you make a variation with protein pancakes, and you are just by the end of that being more consistent, because it's not perfect. You are just trying to be better, and you stop searching for the perfect diet, and you are finally just making some progress. The last lie you've been told is that weight loss is the goal, and it's not about just losing weight. It's something that you've been told that you need to lose weight, and if you're not able to lose the weight, you are just being very unhappy with your diet and also the body, and you just keep gaining the same weight back. It's about being more confident and when you are losing weight, and also having a lean, toned, muscular body, because if you're building a lot of muscle throughout the workout plans that I've been telling you, you're going to become more toned, having big, broader shoulders and a tight midsection, and you're also creating more sustainable habits, not only because of you need to lose weight, but because you are an ambitious professional man who's looking more lean, confident, and able to perform at work, getting all the promotions that you want, feeling more healthy, being there for your family, your wife, and just feeling attractive and have a lot of energy that you can spare. And you're also something that is focusing on being a healthy, confident, attractive man, and just not feeling that you are someone who's on a diet constantly. It's about a mindset shift with all the actions that you've been aligning with. If I see that a lot of busy professional men have been struggling with identity crisis, with you being someone who wants to lose weight, you need to have a version of yourself who is fit, lean, toned, and all the actions that you've been doing right now needs to align with what that person wants to be in the future. So you're always asking yourself, if you are in the middle of thing that you are craving and want to fuck up your diet with binge eating, you're thinking, would my ideal healthy man version of myself do this right now? If it's no, you are doing some tricks that can trick your brain. 4 or 5 liters of water throughout the day helps you reducing the cravings. Also having Diet Coke is a lifesaver, and by doing this, you're going to become this healthy man who has been lean for your entire life, and not someone who's keep trying to lose weight for decades. And if you want to lose the weight for good and become the most healthiest version of yourself, just like you saw with me and my client transformation in the beginning of the video, there's a link in the description and also in the comment section where you can apply for coaching with me, and we'll see if you and I are fit to work together, and I'll help you build a game plan to lose the weight for good.